What is up, guys? Today in this video, I'm going to bring to you guys how to biohack your testosterone production. So basically what I'm going to cover in this video is different things that you can do to increase your testosterone and things to stay away from that I can almost guarantee you've never heard of before. Like me myself, I've watched pretty much every single video on YouTube on increasing testosterone. I've listened to all the podcasts, all the Andrew Huberman, everything that goes into like your endocrine system and learning about this topic, I have done. And I'm bringing this is like probably the best guide you'll ever watch on this topic because I'm assuming you've already watched some of these videos before and you're looking for like that new thing, that new piece of information that you can use in your day to day to increase your testosterone because as you probably know, it's one of the most important things you can do as a man for your fitness, just like your life in general. Like, I don't have to go into the benefits of this, but I'm going to bring you guys some absolute game today. So let's dive in. Pretty much what I'm going to focus on is two parts of this video. Number one is increasing testosterone, so things that actually boost your testosterone, and then avoiding the things that decrease and lower your testosterone. So there's two sides of the coin, and I'm going to cover everything. So this might be a pretty long video. We'll see how long this takes to record, but there's a lot of different points that we'll get into. So number one thing that you can do to increase your testosterone that you've maybe never heard of, maybe you've heard of this, I don't know, is L-reuteri yogurt. So if you don't know what this is basically L-reuteri is Lactobacillus reuteri. It's a very unique strain of bacteria that only 4% of humans have. So I learned about this through Dr. William Davis. He has a YouTube channel and a podcast. He also has a book on it called Super Guts. I read that book when I was like 19 years old, when I first started obsessing about like biology and like fitness, all this different things. Like I'm the biggest nerd when it comes to this, and I love making these videos. So basically, you can make this like it's like a yogurt that you put this bacteria in, and then you let it sit for 36 hours. It reproduces, as many times as it needs to reproduce to like make it thick enough to make a yogurt. And then this strain alone increases your testosterone. Like as you can see here, there's a little study done, and the diet is the same, but they just added this strain of testosterone or L-reuteri, and you can see the effect it has on the testosterone levels. So you can do this. I do have another video I made, I think a few months ago on this channel on how to make the yogurt, or you could check out Dr. William Davis. Does a very good job of explaining how to do this, but I definitely recommend this. Like it increases your oxytocin as well, which is like kind of like the love hormone, you could say. And that also has a direct relationship on your testosterone. So this is number one. Definitely want to include this into your plan. Number two is the skin brain gonadal axis. So most people think of, getting sunlight and getting vitamin D to increase your testosterone, which that is very fundamental. Like obviously you do want to have good vitamin D levels in place, but most people don't even know about this axis that exists in your body. So sunlight on skin is going to be way better than only supplementing the vitamin D. So me myself, I'm kind of fucked with this because I live in Michigan. So right now it's January 29th, middle of winter. I don't really get that much sunlight right now. So I can't really take advantage of this. But if you live somewhere where it's very sunny outside, you definitely need to be getting in the sun, getting a tan, because how this works, it's basically when you get sunlight on your skin, you're signaling to your body to produce more testosterone. Like everything comes from the actual sunlight and getting a tan from the skin. Another benefit or another tip you can do here is getting morning sunlight and prioritizing this to set your circadian rhythm in place in the morning. It's going to make you fall asleep better at night, which is also good for your testosterone as well, just like getting good sleep in general. It's a pretty basic tip, but you definitely want to get a tan, like get actual sunlight on your skin. And this was really only discovered in 2021. So there's like some studies on this. I'm not like the biggest guy that looks into studies, but for this video, I was looking into how this actually works. And this was only discovered in 2021. So like, I mean, it's 2026 right now. So probably like 5 years ago, this was actually getting first looked into. So biggest thing on this is just getting sunlight on your skin, and you will produce more testosterone rather than just supplementing vitamin D. Next up, we have your baseline dopamine levels. So baseline dopamine, is basically a cheat code to life. So like even outside of testosterone, having a high baseline dopamine is just going to give you way more motivation to get hard things done, just more drive, more energy, just like better mood, just everything that comes from like success and like doing hard things comes from having a high baseline dopamine. So also when you do have a high baseline dopamine, your sleep quality increases with less quantity. So you basically require less sleep to actually get like very well rested, get into that REM sleep and get all the benefits of deep sleep, but just requiring less hours actually like asleep, like in bed. So that's a really good benefit for that. And then this also has a direct relationship with testosterone. So basically how you want to do this is just like avoid things that really spike your dopamine really high. Like avoid very stimulating things. Like if you're overstimulating yourself, stay away from those things. Maybe like scrolling on your phone, like social media is a big one, even like watching porn and like just things like that that really spike it really high, that makes it like spike high and then go down really low. And that's where your new baseline is. If you can stay away from those things, raise your baseline even higher, your baseline testosterone is going to increase just as a byproduct of that because they have a direct relationship with each other. Next up, we have insulin sensitivity. So this basically allows your testes, your testicles, to produce more testosterone. So this also has a bidirectional relationship with testosterone, the same thing as dopamine. So basically, all you want to do here is like space out your meals and time your carbohydrates and your insulin spikes correctly based on your training demands. Like when there's muscle demand for your body, basically like when you're going to go lift, you want to eat carbs like pre-workout and then you hit your workout. And then after that workout, post-lift, you want to have carbs again to spike insulin. And then you're going to shuttle nutrients to your muscles. That's a little bit outside of the scope of testosterone. But to increase the insulin sensitivity, that's basically how you want to time your carbohydrates. Also, intermittent fasting is good for this. And just being at a low body fat percentage, also very good for insulin sensitivity. Just overall, this is honestly one of the most overlooked things that you can do, not just for testosterone, but for your physique in general. Like the more insulin sensitive you are, as you can see in this graph, the lower body fat you will have and the higher muscle mass you can build. Because what this is doing is just taking the same amount of calories, but shuttling more to muscle cells instead of fat cells. So someone can have the same diet, the same plan, everything they're doing is the same, but one person is insulin sensitive and the other one is insulin resistant. And they're going to have two different results just because of this one factor and this one variable. So next up is cold and heat exposure. So you want to take cold showers in the morning. I really like to do this every single day. It's part of my personal like morning routine, you could say. Take a cold shower every single day. And then I do like to do the sauna sessions on my rest days. So like 1 to 2 times a week, I'm doing sauna, about like 30 minutes to an hour in the sauna. This is an infrared sauna, so you can stay a lot longer than like a traditional, but I honestly do like traditionals way better. They're just not at the gym that I go at this moment. And this also increases your dopamine. So cold showers, like if you've ever tried this, like cold showers, cold plunges, you know that once you get out of the cold, like you just feel so good about like everything. Your mood just goes way up. And in the moment, like it sucks. Like it's painful to go in. It's like it sucks every single time you're about to get in. Like you just don't want to, even though you know it's like good for you and you know you're gonna feel amazing. It's just something about it is just like resisting you getting in the cold shower, the cold plunge. But once you get out of it, once you actually do the cold exposure, like if you've done this, like you know what I'm saying. Like you just feel so good, and that's basically just you increasing your dopamine, which again has a direct relationship with testosterone. So it's just gonna increase that like directionally as well. And just cold it in general just like builds a good mindset for yourself, like facing that discomfort, which is kind of outside of testosterone as well. But I think it's a really good thing, just like mental resilience, mindset, and just having good, habits in place for your life. Next up is having an ice pack on your balls. So I don't know if you've ever seen this before, but shout out to, his name is Lucas Own on YouTube. I've learned a lot from his channel. And this is one of the things that I picked up from him about like 3 years ago when I first started watching him. So this is a little acute rise in testosterone. So basically just you take an ice pack and you want to use a buffer. So like maybe get like a paper towel or like a bag that you can put it in, and then you just put it on your balls basically for like 5-10 minutes, and you can do this like once a day, twice a day. I don't do this all the time. Like I used to be very consistent with this, but recently I haven't been doing it too much. Like maybe like once a week if I like am feeling the need for it. But once you do this, you're gonna feel like pretty much immediately just like more energy and more drive to just like get hard shit done. And that's one of the main benefits of testosterone if you've ever seen like the benefits of that as well. So this is a pretty underrated one. I don't know how many people like actually know this. Like for me, it's pretty common knowledge at this point because I've just been like looking into this for so long. But I don't know, maybe you watching this video, let me know in the comments, how many of this you've actually seen. Next thing is semen retention. So this is going to control your prolactin, which I'll also get into later in this video on how to avoid that as well. And then basically like if you're jerking off and if you're like, watching porn, all these things, you're basically signaling to your body that you do not need testosterone production because, a main point of testosterone is like to give yourself the drive and like the energy to do hard things. And like at a biological level, it's all to like attract a girl, attract females. And if you're just getting like this quick fix of your own like jerking off, like if you have a girlfriend, if you're actually like having real sex, I think that's fine. But you can still practice semen retention doing that. But if you're like jerking off, I think that's a whole different story. Like I don't think anyone should do that. It's like super bad for you. And I mean, I've gotten in the habit of doing it, and every time I do it, just like you feel like shit. Like you always regret doing it. So stay away from it as much as you can. Just like discipline yourself not to do it, and you will see an increase in your testosterone, just like your mental willpower. Everything just becomes easier. You just become like more charismatic. You have more energy. Everything in life just becomes way better from this. I don't know if it's directly from the testosterone increase or if there's other things. I mean, you can see in this chart here how much it actually benefits you, but this is a really big one you can do. I know most guys, like even today, have this problem of lust, which, like I said, I've fallen into. I'm not perfect, and I'm not saying I'll never do it again. Like, I know it's a really hard thing to like master for life. Like some of the biggest people in the Bible, like King Solomon, King David, they all fell from lust, which is basically what this slide is about, is semen retention. So I know it's a hard one to do, but once you can get in the habit of it, if you have like once you're abstaining from this for a long time, it becomes way easier, and you can just ride the benefits of this. So pretty good one there. Next up is fat types. So actually like dietary fats that you're eating throughout your day. So like if you don't know like nutrition, if you've never looked into this, there's 4 different types of fats, but really 3 that we want to focus on. So there's saturated fats. This is basically coming from like red meat is a big one, butter, as you can see, monounsaturated fats, so like olive oil and avocados. Those are my 2 favorites for this. And then polyunsaturated, which is basically your omega-3s and your omega-6s. Basically, you just want to focus on the omega-3s. So like salmon is a good one, sardines, and then you could do like nuts. I don't really recommend nuts in the diets. It's just like nuts. Like I don't recommend too many plant sources unless it's like fruit or potatoes or rice. Those are like the really only plants that I eat. I would not recommend like seeds or nuts, any of this stuff. And you can take fish oil as well. And then you also want to focus on the omega-3 to omega-6 ratio. So you want to have a 2-to-1 omega-3 to omega-6 ratio. And this is pretty much just good for like inflammation in the body. And like I know when I say inflammation, a lot of people are probably like who gives a fuck about inflammation? But like I used to think the same thing. Like I did not understand really what inflammation was. And the best way I can describe this and why you should actually care about it is like imagine yourself super inflamed like inside of like your body, and like every like organ that you have produces certain hormones. They all work together to make the endocrine system. Your endocrine system is just the collection of hormones that you have. So if you have inflamed organs, like inflamed things in your body, they're not going to be working as beneficial, and the whole system is just going to go down based on inflammation. And like I said, I used to think of inflammation as like something I should not care about. Like I don't care if I'm inflamed. Like I don't really see a difference from that. But once you see like the actual benefits of like getting around it and like prioritizing low inflammation in your diet, that's why I don't really recommend things that are like grown in nature like this. Like instead, and unless it's like fruit or potatoes or rice, those are pretty low inflammatory. But things like that, like you just like should not have in your diet. Also, processed foods, like this is the other fat type that you should avoid. Like I did not even recommend. I didn't even like talk about this because like you should just avoid it completely, like it says here. This is basically just processed foods, really bad for inflammation, and that's why you want to stay away from it. Also, just decreases your testosterone, doesn't really provide nutrients as a whole, so it's not going to support anything that you do. It's just like empty calories that don't really provide nutrition because what food should be for you, how you should look at food, is just certain nutrients that you're eating to fuel your body functions. Like everyone's body has a function, everyone has to eat nutrients to function properly. And if you're functioning properly, you're going to increase your testosterone, maximize that as much as you can. So just get these things right and you will be good. Next up is hydration. So super overlooked one. You know, everyone drinks water, but no one really, I mean, I wouldn't say no one, but a lot of people don't really prioritize this in their day. So this is really just a basic human function. And like most functions in the human body require hydration, like water cells entering the organs or the muscles or doing whatever. So if you're dehydrated, you're also stressing out the body. Like it's just like unnecessary stress. Like the body wants to be hydrated, it wants to have water. And if you're just depriving of it, even if you don't know that you need more water, but you're just not giving it enough water, it's just going to be a negative consequence that you don't really need. Like it's just like so easy to fix as well. All you need to do is just drink water, add some, do like some pink salt. Like I do like some Himalayan pink salt or like an electrolyte supplement. Just make sure it has like no sugar. And that's really all you need to do for this. It's like super simple, but a lot of people overlook it. So I definitely need to include it in this video. And then next up is supplements. So this is the last part on increasing, and then we're going to get into how to avoid and things to actually stay away from. So first, the very first things you want to supplement is actually like the core nutrients that make testosterone in your body. Because if you're deficient in these, then these like they can help, but they're not going to be like the main drivers of increasing your testosterone. So number one is zinc. This is one of the biggest micronutrients. You also get this a lot from red meats. So I really recommend having like steak or ground beef. I eat ground beef pretty much every single day. It's really good for zinc. And then vitamin D3 and K2. This is D3, like I said, I mean, like before you saw the sunlight part of this video, vitamin D is still very important. So make sure it's D3. It's most absorbable, like bioavailable form of vitamin D. And then add K2. Like a lot of supplement brands will add vitamin K and then make sure it's like the 2 version of this. And it's just going to make it like more absorbable in the body. And then the last one is magnesium glycinates. This one is, it's good for sleep. Like magnesium is known for sleep, but it's also good for testosterone as well, just like producing that in your body. And then once you get these done, make sure you're not deficient in these. You can add these 4, which are like the most potent forms of, they're like herbs, like basically like from pretty much like African and Chinese herbs that you can take as well. So like Fedosia agrestis, fenugreek, Tonkat Ali, and Cistanche. I've tried all of these and they do have pretty potent effects. My favorite has by far been Tonkat Ali. I remember the first time I tried this, I genuinely felt like a superhuman. Like I was like my energy was just like through the fucking roof the first time I tried this. Like I remember I took the first dose, like it was, I don't remember the exact dosage, but I took the first capsule and felt nothing. But then the second time, like the second day I got it, that's when it, like the energy just hit me like this. Like it was insane how good I felt after taking the supplement. So definitely recommend this one. Pretty much just like increases your free testosterone, which I'll get into at the end part of this video as well, and how to increase your free testosterone. But yeah, so next thing and the next section in this video is how to, things that lower testosterone. So things to avoid to actually get the most benefits. So number one is the biggest one is xenoestrogens. So this is basically things that mimic estrogen in your body. And these are like found in things that you interact with in your day-to-day life. So like, as you know, there's a lot of chemicals and like things that aren't natural in today's world. You know, we live in a world where there's a lot of like plastics and just like chemicals, like unnatural things basically in the world. So basically just stay away from as much like plastics as you can. And you don't have to like obsess about this. Like I used to be like really like weird about it and like I would not try to touch any plastic as possible, like which like it is beneficial, but I think just like having that mindset just like kind of makes you weird like in some way. Like you don't have to be like super obsessive about this, but it's like easy things that you can do to avoid plastics like wherever you can. I would recommend like a big one is like plates, like things that you eat your food in. Don't heat things up in plastic. Having water bottles that aren't plastic, like you can replace that for like a metal or glass water bottle. Heat things up in like glass containers, things like that. Like those are the biggest affect things of plastic. There's also like skincare products like body wash, toothpaste, cologne, air fresheners, things like this, like things that you usually find like in your bathroom, things that you put on your skin, like all those things are going to pretty much increase like the estrogen that you have in your body. So like get all natural like body wash. My favorite is Dr. Bronner's. I don't know if you know that brand, then you know they're fucking amazing. Dr. Bronner's is really good for body wash. They have toothpaste as well. I would stay away from, I mean, cologne like if you have an occasion for it, but like if you're using it every day, I think that's just like it's not the most wise thing you can do. Air fresheners, like especially in your car, these are terrible for your testosterone. They're just like pretty much just mimicking. Holy fuck, I've been talking for a while. Mimicking estrogen in your body. So I don't even recommend this at all. Sometimes even like my brother, he'll put in like some air fresheners in the car when we used to share a car, and that shit would just smell like it smelled good, but like something about it was just like so like stingy and so potent, and I knew it wasn't good for me. And then I learned about this, and it just made so much sense of like how my body was reacting to that. And same thing with cologne as well. Like sometimes it just like it smells good, but like it has like this weird like stingy smell to it that like it's like not good for you. And then next thing is reverse osmosis water, and then also getting a shower filter. So like if you know like the public water systems are like they're pretty gross. They're filled with a ton of chemicals that you can get rid of if you get a reverse holy fuck reverse osmosis system. These cost like $100, $200 to get. You can get them like install them under your sink, and they can just pretty much serve you fresh water for the rest of your life. And then getting a shower filter, this is really good. Like every single day you're showering, and if you're putting like, dirty water like with chemicals on your skin every single day, it's gonna add up really fast. Like over the years, it's gonna be pretty bad for you. You can just replace this with the shower filter, just clean out the water that you're using. And basically all of this just stay as natural as possible with everything that you do, and you should be good. Like all the food that you eat, all like the products that you use, just try to be as natural as possible. And just with the plastics, you can just replace this with glass and metal things as well. Next up is electronics near your balls. So you want to protect your testes at all times. So you can see like this graph right here. These are the most potent things that you want to stay away from, like near your balls. Biggest one is like cell phone. Like most people carry their phone in their pocket, which I'm not saying you should never do. Like a lot of these things, like they're good to be aware of, but it's up to you to figure out how much you want to like really obsess about this in your life. Like I'm not saying it's bad again, but it's just up to you how much you want to apply this. Like I don't usually have my cell phone in my pocket, and if I do, like if I know I'm gonna have my phone in my pocket for a while, I'll just put it on airplane mode, and that'll solve that problem for yourself. And then like wireless, like Wi-Fi even affects this. Like I don't you can turn off your Wi-Fi at night. That does help. Laptop, like if you're sitting with your laptop on your lap and you have this on your balls, it's not going to be good for that. And just like all these things like have like these EMF radiations, and that's all going to affect your testosterone through your testes. So another thing you can do is actually get silver threaded boxers. So what silver does, and like if you have silver threaded even clothes and you're wearing it around your balls, then basically you're protecting your testosterone from the EMFs that are coming in. So it's like a pretty cool hack that you can do, and that's like why you don't have to obsess about this too much if you have this in place. It's just something that you can add to just give yourself that protection for pretty much the whole time that you're wearing them. Next up is cortisol. So this is pretty well known. So they basically have a direct relationship, like antagonist relationship. So the lower your cortisol is, the higher your testosterone will be. And basically what you want to avoid is stress. And you can, like, everyone does feel stress, and it's like normal to feel this, especially if you're doing like big things and like have big projects, like a lot of responsibility on your plate, which is a good thing. Like, I'm not going to say it's going to be a bad thing. You should avoid that, but you should just learn how to reframe stress as something that's beneficial for you instead of something that's detrimental to your life. Like, if you can reframe that in your mind and think like, okay, I'm feeling stressed, but this stress is something that's actually working for me and going to make me better and make me a better version of myself, then that can help you. Like, it can reduce stress on its own, but you can also just use that stress to become better overall, and you don't have to worry about it really lowering testosterone. I mean, you always want to avoid like chronic stress, like things that you don't want, like aren't necessary to stress about, like little things through your day. Like, for example, like the hydration thing, like that was one small example. But like different things in your life that you can avoid stress in, definitely recommend everything you can do for that. But like I said, if you have big things on your plate, it's normal to feel stressed. You just want to reframe it. And also overtraining. So if you're doing like really high intensity, like running, really high intensity, like lifting with a lot of volume, and you're just overtraining, doing more than you should be. Like, the way I see training is just you want to stimulate the adaptation for growth, and then you're done. Like, you don't have to go more than just the stimulus you need. And if you're doing more than that, it's like a lot of people mess up their training. They don't know how to actually stimulate correctly, and they're just like chunking in a ton of volume and don't know what they're doing in the gym. And that's a big reason why you could raise your cortisol. It's just like overtraining. Also, like really long endurance running. Like, I do running, but it's very low intensity and very like it's controlled. Like, it's I know how to do it correctly to not spike my cortisol because I know how that works in the body. And I know how to manipulate certain even nutrients and timings of when I do things throughout my day to minimize the cortisol. So overtraining is a big one. Stick to low volume in the gym and high intensity, just stimulate the growth. And then for your cardio, low intensity and just like very controlled and a few times a week. And you can also add in some high intensity like intervals. I would only do that maybe once a week if you're going to do that at all, because it is good for testosterone, but it can also break down muscle protein as well. So it's just something to be aware of. Next up is prolactin. So kind of related to the semen retention one. Like, just stay away from this. Don't watch porn and keep your dopamine baseline high. I don't want to. This one's pretty self-explanatory. Won't get into this too much. And then this one's smoking, vaping, and drinking alcohol. So as you can see here, I used to do all these bad habits. And I mean, looking back, like I had good times doing this. Like when I was younger, like when I was like 18 years old, like that was like when I was the worst. Like I was pretty much smoking every single day, getting drunk with my friends on the weekends in high school. Like my senior year was full of parties, full of like doing all these bad habits. And looking back, I don't regret it because it was an experience in my life. Like, I'm not saying I would go back and change it, but I know better now. I would know myself now, and I'm just know that I wouldn't do something like that now just because number one, it's just bad for you, like in general. And number two, it's just like there's no productive thing that comes out of it at all. Like, you can just do way better with your life if you're not doing these things. Like, if you are smoking and vaping, you're basically just breathing in chemicals to make yourself feel good. Like, that's literally what you're doing. And like all these chemicals are so bad for you. Like, who knows what's actually like in this vape? Like, this comes from China. They don't care about your health. They have like thousands of different chemicals that you're just putting in your lungs to make yourself temporarily feel good and just get like this quick dopamine fix, which is like it's stupid if you think about it. Like, I was addicted to these things, and I'm glad that I quit because I feel way better now, and my just mental clarity, sharpness, my energy levels are just way better ever since I did stop. I stopped smoking weed when I was 19, stopped vaping when I was 18, and then I haven't drank a sip of alcohol since I turned 22, which was back in August. So have not drank in about 5 months, which is pretty crazy at 22 years old. So Just stay away from these. Alcohol also increases your aromatase, which is what converts testosterone into estrogen. So you can produce all the testosterone you want, but if your aromatase is high, which is also from high body fat, which I'll get into in a little bit as well, then you're just going to be converting that into estrogen, which is going to just fuck you up. Like you can produce all the testosterone, but you're just going to make it into estrogen, so it doesn't really matter. Next one is avoiding omega-6 seed oils. This kind of goes back into the omega-3 to omega-6 ratio. So just stay away from processed foods. And I'm not saying you can never eat processed foods in your life. Like I'm not the type of guy to be like 100% strict on everything. I have done that before, but it just like your quality of life goes down from doing that. Like I've found for myself. And if you do that and you feel happy doing it, then that's fine. Like I used to be happy doing it and I would get really good benefits and my health was amazing. Like I'd feel really good, I'd look really good, my skin was super clear, and I have all those things now, but I can still enjoy things, every once in a while. Like it's not going to affect you that much, but if you like make it a part of your normal diet and like if you're doing it more than I'd say like 10% of the time, like 90% to 95% of your diet should just be like clean whole foods, stick to the meal plan that you have, like the things that you know are going to work for you. And then when things come up every once in a while, then you can enjoy food. I'm not saying you can never do this, but just be aware of the consumption that you're having because this is going to, again, increase your inflammation, like I talked about before, just something you should care about, which is just going to decrease your testosterone overall. It's just going to affect every single system in your body, which down the line is going to affect your overall testosterone. Then next up is being fat. So having extra body fats, like I talked about, increases your aromatase, basically just converting testosterone to estrogen. And you can do everything else right, but you're still fucked. Like you're just basically just shooting yourself in the foot if you're focusing on everything else, but you don't have these like this in place. Like if you're overweight, you have to get rid of that as well. So get in a calorie deficit, aim for 10 to 10 8 to 10, holy fuck, I cannot talk. 8 to 10% body fat, and then I would build from there. So, like, when you're lean, everything just works better in your body. You're more insulin sensitive, you produce more testosterone. Like, the food that you eat is more biased towards muscle growth instead of fat storage. So, that's why you always want to start a bulk when you're around 8 to 10% body fat, when you're lean, instead of doing it when you already have some body fat. You're just gonna spin your wheels, be frustrated. I've done it before. Like I've made so many mistakes in my fitness journey. Like if I knew all of the things I know now, I'd be way farther ahead of where I am now. But I'm grateful for the lessons I've learned because I can teach them in my videos on this channel and learn from my mistakes as well, apply it to myself and, make the best progress that I can now and, teach myself and my clients as well. And then last part of this video, so this is how to increase your free testosterone. So what you can do to lower your SHBG and your albumin. This is basically what binds to testosterone in your blood, which only makes 1 to 2% of total testosterone that you're producing. So everything we just covered is going to help you produce more total testosterone, but only a small portion of that is actually used by your body, which is like free to use like by your cells. So if we can take all of that we just learned and then combine it with freeing up more free testosterone, then we're going to get the best benefit from this. So how to lower SHBG and albumin is number one, you can take a boron supplement. So I've tried this and it definitely works. You definitely feel more energized and just like have more of the potent effects of testosterone. Number two is having sufficient carbs and calories. So I talked about this as well in my last video on how to get to 10% body fat. But like basically, whenever you're cutting body fat, you always want to keep calories as high as possible because if you're crashing calories, you're basically just crashing your nutrients. And if you're crashing your nutrients, everything comes down with that. But if you can keep nutrients high and then increase your expenditure of what you're burning, you're still in this deficit here, but your nutrients are also high at that point. So that's a little side tip there. And then eating enough carbs is really good as well. Like I've done like ketogenic, like carnivore diets, and like they can be good. I'm not saying they're a bad thing. Like I genuinely think if you're like super strict with it and like you don't care about anything else, you don't care about any single other food rather than just like red meat, like maybe eggs, then that could be like one of the best diets for humans. But in my case, like I don't want to be super strict with just eating meat every single day for the rest of my life. So I'd rather just stick to whole foods, things that still make me feel amazing and still give me like the freedom to eat what I want and just like not ruin my progress if I just eat like one fucking like slice of bread or whatever. Like if I eat something else, it's just gonna mess up everything else. But like I'm not talking about carnivore today, but like you do want to have some carbs in your diet. So my favorite carb sources are white rice, sweet potato, and then fruits. You should really focus on those. The white rice and fruits are going to be like your simple carbs. Use them pre and post workout, and also honey as well. And then you can do some sweet potato as a slow digesting carb. You can do this like if you're going to go lift maybe in like 3 to 2 hours, or if you have like a big like leg day coming up, I'd recommend some sweet potato. Just like load the glycogen up for that storage day, and you should be good. So like just include these two things. Also, insulin sensitivity. So, another benefit from this is going to actually free up testosterone in your body and then having good thyroid function. So, if you don't know, like I've never shared this online, but I actually grew up being hypothyroid. So, like when I was 12 years old, I started taking like synthetic thyroid hormone because I just did not produce enough thyroid in my body. So I know firsthand of how much this affects your life and like how much your well-being comes from your thyroid. And learning about this, like how your thyroid affects your free testosterone and just like your testosterone in general makes so much sense because like I remember when I was 12 years old, I started taking thyroid hormone because like I said, I just was very hypothyroid. I was very deficient in it. And my life changed like night and day. Like I remember that year, I grew like 6 inches when I was like just first starting puberty, and I was like really short before that. Like I'm 5'7", so like I'm shorter than average, but that's like I guess that's part of the reason for that because I just didn't catch on to that as a kid. But I mean, gladly I caught onto it now. But like thyroid function is very, very important for your overall just well-being and testosterone as well. So these are the fundamentals. You probably already know this. I'm not going to dive into this, but make sure you have these in place. This is at the end of the video because I didn't want to give you a biohack, which you already know. And then follow me on Instagram. That's the end of this video. If you have any questions on this, you can shoot me a DM. I answer every single DM. So if you have literally anything you want to talk about, shoot me a message on there. And then if you want to apply for my one-on-one coaching, I also train clients online. So we can schedule a call. I'll leave the link in the description as well. Hope this was valuable. Spent a lot of time on making this. And let me know if you guys learned something. Like I genuinely think, especially like these ones in how to increase testosterone, like there's a lot of things that I just learned recently for myself. So if you guys have any questions, shoot me a message on Instagram. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys in the next one.